We got upstate New York's finest coming to the stage. Tim from Gigastatt Cycles, purveyors of the best inverted front ends and rear brake caliper setups that there is. Yeah. What's happening?
Oh.
FXR master.
Yeah.
I don't know. Help me out here, dude. Come on.
Well, what we like to do is take the Harley performance part and then bring it.
Make it perform.
Yeah, make it perform. Not just big motors, big brakes and things like that. Everybody's got motors.
Not just doodads.
Exactly. We have some stuff like that, but our claim to fame is our inverted front ends and FXRs, Dynas, Baggers, Sportsters. We do a lot of the inverteds for the hooligan bikes and things like that. Yeah.
So what got you into even starting that up? Like, did you just see a need, or was it just something that was always an interest of yours?
I went with Biltwell and Mikey and his wife Kat to the Tail of the Dragon with an FXR. And the Tail of the Dragon and that whole Maggie Valley area, the front I had a brand new pair of Dunlops on my FXR, and by the end of the long weekend, the front one was all cupped and bald. And because the 39 millimeter, even with good brakes, PM brakes on it, it was rolling underneath and it was squirming around, and I couldn't keep it on line. So I came home and I got some sport bike legs, and I figured that I can make some pieces to retrofit it to the FXR.
So actually, before we even go down there, tell everyone a little bit about your background, because you're like an engineer or a machinist.
By schooling, I'm a mechanical engineer. I work by trade, I'm a tool maker, a mold maker. And I worked for somebody for 22 years, doing all kinds of projects for General Motors and Eastman Kodak and some medical companies and gun companies.
And I only say that so people understand that your shit is backed by experience and knowledge in these areas. It's not just like, oh, that looks cool, let's make some fucking trees.
It's all fully CAD designed. It's all prototyped and things like that. And, a lot of friends in the industry and things like that, they get to be my crash test dummies. They put parts on their bikes, and I ask them how it works out for them and, what they think and improvements and critiques.
That's your R&D team.
Yes.
Yeah, R&D team.
R&D team.
That's how
yes, absolutely. So
how long have you been doing this?
I've been in business. I took the plunge in 2007.
Okay.
So
because your inverted front ends is one of your biggest things.
It's yes.
And what is talk a little bit about for people that really ride, what is the benefits of having that over the stock setup?
The benefit of the inverted front end is basically it's more rigid. All the strength is in the top. We put nice billet trees to go along with it, so it's the strength is there. I call it we got a benefit of you get big brakes on top of it. You get sport bike brakes on top of it.
Yeah, you can stop.
Yeah. And you'll notice that you'll start wearing front tires out, just because the brakes are that much better, and the tires actually wear because they're actually stopping the bike. Not just gliding. So that's
just coasting.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So and then we actually
now is there more endos that are happening, unintentional endos?
Well, what guys tell me is they get too hot into a corner and they spike the front brake and the thing will high side, and they never had that issue before. Yeah, so I warn.
So fucking take it easy.
Yes.
Learn your new setup.
I warn a lot of new customers that
don't go full Picard.
Yeah, be careful with it. Absolutely.
I've never watched an episode of that, by the way. I just know the dude's name. I'm a rapper now, LeBron's fonts, and Picard is the only thing I can rhyme with that. So there we go. Yeah, I said LeBron's fonts. What else you got going on? I know everyone knows the front ends, but I brought a rear Sportster brake caliper setup for a chopper I'm building.
Yes, it's
and it's badass, and it's got stopping power.
Thank you. a lot of the other components that we use for the front, we get requests. Hey, I want my rear brakes to match. So
or to work.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Plus, the FXRs, is generally what I'm constantly building FXRs.
Yeah.
So, and the newest one is a 2000, so it's already 22 years old. So the newest one's a clapped out hunk of shit. So, and most of them are mid 80s into early 90s, so they got some miles on them, and they're just worn out. And the stock Harley brakes were shit to begin with, and 20 years old, they're double shit. So
who sponsors this show, right?
Well, that was then. That's 1990s.
Yeah. I'm just fucking around.
So, but at any rate,
Stabby.
so we put that all together, and then we put different floating rotors and different brake pads and things like that. So.
Yeah, and I noticed, I think they're probably paying attention because on the Pan Americas come with a little bit better brake setup.
Oh, yeah.
Some Brembos and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So is FXR your favorite
Yes.
setup?
Yes.
What are you working on right now? Like, I know you always get something, couple of coals in the fire.
Well, yeah, I'm very interested in the new Softail ST because it's basically, in my opinion, a modern FXR. So we'll see. We got one that hopefully will be showing up sometime soon, and we can take a look at it to see what we can improve on that.
On that Lowrider ST, does that have an inverted front end?
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't even. I forgot. I didn't even look.
And it's got supposedly decent brakes on it too. So I'd love it if I didn't have to
do anything.
No, just ride it.
But at the same time, there's a room for the developing some better shit.
Yeah, it's got T-bars on it, just like it's basically the bikes we were building.
Yeah.
Already. So we just got to change the exhaust and get it to sound like a Harley instead of a sewing machine. So and then they got enough power.
Yeah.
It's not like the old days.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy just in general what kind of power is coming out of bikes now, like no matter what size it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like in cars, like
Well,
four
cars.
cylinders are like.
Well, if you think about the V6 Camaro, has more power than the top of the line big block had back in the day.
Yeah. It's like how it's
got I watched this thing on I watched these dumb stuff on YouTube and Motor Trend channel and stuff like that, and they had all these jacked up cars that they were racing, and the goal is to race around a road race course to beat the rental car, the V6 rental car. Yeah, and only one beat it.
What one?
It was some like race car esque thing, but you couldn't drive it on the street very well.
That said, there's something about idiot power and not having a good suspension system. Like I had a Plymouth Duster with a 440 jammed in it.
Sure.
And doing 30 or 40, if you hit it, it stopped roostering around.
Right.
And that thing was swaying all over the place. There was a certain fun to that, but it's not like getting into like a BMW or like a fucking Tesla or something.
Well, that's the bad thing about the electric stuff is you don't get the noise and the power. You have the power, but you don't get the noise and everything, the smoke and everything that goes with it.
Our shop hand, his father got a Tesla, and he brought it to the shop, so I got to drive it. I've never been thrown back as hard when I stomped on that. I'm not getting a Tesla because I'll not have a license in 3 weeks, but it's fun in its own way. I don't want one. I don't desire one.
They don't have the styling or anything like that.
No, it's inside. It's absurdly plain. Like there's nothing in it except for some big flat top screen.
Well, that's why we all ride Harleys though instead of a Honda.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want a reliable, powerful motorcycle, you ride a Honda.
Yeah,
you wouldn't ride a Harley.
Performance handling motorcycle or whatever.
Yeah.
But that said. Like you stomp that Tesla, the power is instant and throws you back. Like I've been in a ton of muscle cars. I've had a ton of muscle cars. I've had a ton of built up cars. I've never I almost got like whiplash. He's like, be careful. I was like, nope. Boom. And then, but it's his father's car, so I had to kind of be cool.
And there's no transmission.
No, that's insane. With that said, are you going to do anything for the live wire?
Probably not. No, Christian Newman and I are pretty good friends, and he's always prodding me about electric stuff because he wants to, the wizard, he wants to come up with something.
Yeah. Now, I understand there's probably a governor on it. I've never ridden one. But if it's anything like that Tesla, people are gonna fucking die.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's just there.
Yeah.
It's insanity. It's fun.
They go. Yeah, I thought Harley broke them away. Now they're their own product line now, rather than,
I don't know.
Yeah, like Livewire product instead of Harley Livewire.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that's what they were doing, something like that.
Don't know, don't care. But what else, man? What else you got going on? Like front ends, brakes.
Oh, we got a Sportster trip planned. We're gonna take like a group of 10 of us are gonna take Sportsters and ride them off road for 1,000 miles. And,
where?
We're coming. Yeah, I don't know if it's called the BDR. That's all these off-road trails. Yeah.
Which one though?
The one.
There's one in Massachusetts. I'm going to take the Pan America when I know it actually runs.
The Mid-Atlantic. We're doing the Mid-Atlantic first, and then the next one we'll probably try is the one that starts in New York and goes up to Maine.
Yeah.
We'll do that as a second one.
Yeah, because that one I think cuts through me.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
I'll meet you on that.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't have a sports, but I can get one in time.
Pan America works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's like 10 of us that are going. We're all committed to it, and then.
Are you gonna document it at all?
Yeah, there's a couple guys, YouTube guys coming and things like that. So. Yeah,
when's that?
It's the beginning of the summer in May.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What, you're not supposed to talk about this?
No, I don't want too many people to show up, to be honest with you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So don't worry about when it is, and just follow Gigastatt to see when it happened and follow it along.
Then you can come. Then we'll plan something for next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let them R&D the route.
Correct.
Figure it out.
Correct.
And then come strong the next year and open it up.
Well, it's because I was part of the Biltwell team that did the Nora 1000 with the Friuli.
Yeah,
and we did the inverted front ends on that and stuff like that. So this is where that sort of stemmed from, is where's Bill and all the guys at Biltwell, they were talking about, they got the Biltwell 100 and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, well, that's cool, but that's out in California. I live in New York.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment. So we put this together.
The good thing, though, is with doing the off-roading Sportster stuff, you live in upstate New York, so you got plenty of trails and off-roads and fire roads and whatnot to test things out on. Now, is that something you're thinking about getting into, is some more on-off-road or adventure type of product line?
We do already have. We got a long travel suspension, front suspension that we did for the Friuli, and we have different models of that, different parts. And then we got the one that we do for the Hooligan Sportsters that I personally think is a better one for if you want to ride more on the road and off-road and stuff like that. So we got a couple different versions on the trip, so we'll see which one works better for what we're doing.
Yeah. So it's also some built-in R&D.
Yeah. And I want it to be for some, like Mikey was talking about with the Saturday Sportster and things like that. There's all kinds of Evolution Sportsters out there for $3,500 or less dollars. Less dollars that you don't have to spend.
Although the last year has been weird, man. I've been like, it used to be like, all right, you can get an Evo Sportster for like $2,000, and now clapped out ones people want like $4,000 or $5,000 for.
Right,
like,
right, yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you can overpay and get a really nice one for $3,500.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to spend $20,000 on a Pan America and have fun.
No.
Yeah, no. So that's.
What are you trying to say, dude? I'm just kidding.
But
I've never bought a new Harley in my life, and that's what made me. I was like, I support this. It's cool area. And then I get it to Arizona, and it fucking shits out. Computer glitch. I'm like, fuck this fucking.
And there was
thing.
no parts.
No. No one even knows what the fuck is even wrong. Like,
really?
Because it's all computer shit. Like,
they didn't give you another bike to.
They offered it when I was already on the ride home.
Oh, I see.
Like, yeah, thanks, dude. That was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep fucking jabbing that as much as I fucking can. Because I'm in the fucking homeland for that shit, so fuck you, motherfuckers. I think we got someone else coming out. Where can people find out more about what you got going on and following the stuff that you do, because it's interesting stuff? Like, seriously, if you're into riding your bike and you really want to get the most out of it, you got to contact this guy.
Yeah. At Gigacycle Garage is our website's Gigacycle Garage, and then we're at Gigastatt on Instagram.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's always good seeing you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to see you in a little bit. We're going to drink. Okay. Thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for coming on. All right. Who's next?
It's like you don't even know.
I can't even see shit. I'm just blinded. So I gotta wear a hat like that. Swiss.
How we doing, Drew?
What's happening, bud?
Dude, fucking another day.
Another day.
Right.
It's hot as fuck. Swiss is a hooligan class rider.
Yep.
You raced last night.
Yep, we raced in the hooligan class. I wasn't supposed to race, but I raced anyway.
Why weren't you supposed to?
I broke my collarbone in December. Then a doctor was like, don't do that. So I showed up anyway.
Is it any worse today?
No.
Then tell your doctor.
No,
to
we
fuck
had a
himself.
great fucking time last night.
Yeah.
Seriously, I can't tell. Like,
There's no one there. Yeah, don't worry about it.
there we go. All right.
No one cares.
I'm like my mom here.
Yeah.
But no, like hooligan racing is the shit. Where it's just like go have fun and like
Explain for people who might not be as familiar. You're someone involved in the hooligan class. What is hooligan class?
So the hooligan class is I cracked anything 750 cc's or bigger.
Yep.
So they're like
Does it cap out?
Doesn't cap out.
Okay.
AFT has a cap at 750. So hooligan is like no, go bigger.
Yeah.
And it's the only other regulations are you cannot modify the frame. So you can't cut and weld. You can't fucking change the geometry. They're like, so 750 cc's or bigger and go nuts.
So as long as the frame is
Stock. Yeah.
You can put one of Tim's front ends on.
Yes.
Okay, and get that.
Oh yeah,
get that edge.
he helps us out.
Yeah.
And JJ Flaherty makes parts for us too.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, and JJ does a D-rate kick because with flat track you want to kick it back a little bit. So that's where you get the edge, where you're like, hey, we can have bolt-on parts, but we can't cut.
Yeah, you didn't alter the frame.
Yeah, exactly.
The stock frame.
Yeah.
What are some of the most important kind of upgrades if someone's like looking to break into that class? I mean, you just mentioned a couple, but
Yeah. Biggest upgrades are just like horsepower, where if you know how.
so there's no regulation on what
Nope,
you do.
You can boost it up like SNS makes an 1250 cc kit.
Yep.
So you can take your 883 Sportster and you can do a 1250.
Do you like the Hammer? Have you tried the Hammer 1275?
I have not.
Okay.
I think I need to.
Yeah. That every ounce, right, counts.
Yes. Hey, there's no replacement for displacement.
Yes. What got you into even racing in the first place?
My older.
Or how long have you been racing?
I've only been racing for 5 years.
Okay.
I'm old, not old, but I'm old. Both my older brothers race motocross up in New Hampshire. So I came and like, I was just the guy that hung out and I worked on their bikes. But I was like, I am deathly afraid of jumps. Like, I can't jump a bike. I can't wheelie a bike. So I'm like, yeah, like, cool, you guys do your thing. But then I was like, Rusty Butcher out of California used to post all the videos of like, hey, here's this hooligan thing we're doing. And literally, I just found him randomly on Instagram, and I'm like, I want to try that. So I'm like, easy, it's flat, no jump. So I'm like, let me try that. And I think I was 35 or 36. I'm like, let's do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah, this is
Right at the age when
legit.
broken bones means something.
Hey.
Thank you, Pat.
But at the age where the broken bones cost a lot more money.
And take longer to.
Hey.
Ooh, that's a strong one.
So the first race I ever did was actually an AFT race. So like American Flat Track. Jeremy, who's the promoter, he does Flatout Friday.
Yeah.
First race I ever did, they did one in Cleveland. And he was like, hey, he randomly hit me up going, yo, I need hooligan racers in Weedsport, New York. He goes, that's like, Googling it, he goes, like, that's by your house. I'm like, yeah, I know where Weedsport is. I'm like, that's a 2-hour drive. He goes, come race. So my first race ever, I'm on a fucking AFT flat track race. So I'm like, okay, these are like pros.
Yeah, these are dudes that.
Yeah, these guys.
You're the only dude there where it's your first race.
They know what they're doing, and I'm the guy going, I don't know what I'm doing. But I met JJ Flaherty, Dave Kilkenny, nicest guys in flat track, and they're like, "You got this. Don't worry about it."
So it's pretty supportive.
Yep, the hooligan community and the whole flat track community in general, it's so supportive. Where they're like, "Yo, day 1, day 5,000," they're like, "No, let's just have a good time."
Yeah.
So
there's no dirt, no jabs, no.
Yeah, it's not they're not sandbagging you.
Yeah. So. Your first race, you're going with people who've been doing it for a while.
A long time.
You're watching.
Yeah, I basically watch.
What's that feel like? Like, you know what I mean?
I was
trial by fire, right?
I was shitting my pants where I'm like, these guys, I'm like, it was a 3/8 mile track, and they're pushing like 110, 120 miles an hour. And I'm sitting there going, 50.
Have you ridden a track yet?
No.
Yeah. But here's the theme. Just fucking do it.
They're like, let's go do this. They're like, let's bring you in. We're going to get you into this. I'm like, just scared shitless. But they're like, no, you're fine. They're like, let's bring you in. Let's make you comfortable. And they're like, and especially the hooligan class, they're like, no, there's no bullshit. They're like, we're here for fun.
Yeah.
Period. Like, we have to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
So let's.
We all want to go to work.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, I'm a diesel mechanic. So I'm like, yeah, I got to go to work on Monday. So that one, they were like, exactly. They're like, that's our mentality is let's just have fun. Don't get hurt. If you're over your head, throw your hand up, get off the track. Let's just have a good time.
So what was your mindset going in it? Were you like, I'm fucking going to try and really win this? Or am I just trying to get through this?
I was just trying to get through it, where I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but they're so supportive. But I was like, instantly, I'm just like, I want to finish a lap. That was my mentality going in. Like, I want to do one lap.
How many were there?
10.
Okay.
But I did it. I did all 10 laps, got off the track, and they're like, hey, you finished. I'm like, thanks. They're like, you got to do it again in like 10 minutes. I'm like, you guys are fucking kidding me. But that's their mentality. They're like, no, you're gonna get better every time you go out.
What was the difference the second time for you when you went out?
Basically, they all just kind of like, they're like, prop me up, or like, you're gonna go faster this time. They're like, but don't ride over your head, but go faster. And they just kept pushing me and pushing me. They're like, we're gonna make you a better rider. And I was like, this is fucking insane.
And there's no way other to do it other than doing it.
Just do it, yeah. And that's the entire hooligan scene is like, you just gotta fucking do it. And like all those guys, especially that first race, but then like the second one I did was a Flatout Friday in Cleveland, but they're the same thing where they're like, and Scott, who owns Fuel Cafe, was there.
Yeah.
And I wrecked hard in Cleveland. And he goes, you know what you did wrong? He's like, you didn't find your brake. So he's like, next time you're gonna find your brake, let's do this again. And they just kept boosting me. I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
So how long did it take for you, or like how many races did it take for you to like get from the beginner, just trying to get through it, counting the laps, to like where you felt comfortable or actually competitive?
I still don't feel comfortable.
Well, you probably never should, right? Because that's when shit goes wrong, when you take it too much.
I was say like 5 years later, I'm like, I'm comfortable to race and I know how to push my limits, but at the same time, it's like with everybody else, I'm like, I still got to go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, whatever. But that's what they go. That's the whole hooligan mentality is, or that's how it started. They're like, yeah, we have jobs. we have to pay bills. They're like, so we do this for fun. But at the same time, they're like, but we're going to push each other and we're going to fuck shit up.
Yeah, so it's because it's like anything, right? Like the more experienced people are, the crazier it kind of gets. So you jump in.
Exactly.
When you jump in and there's already been like years of development, and skateboarding, right? Like
exactly.
When Ollie was the new trick, and then the new kid comes in, that's the first trick he learns.
Yeah, he's like
things develop
he's
further.
like, I already ollied. Here's a fucking 360 rail
whatever.
slide.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna hurt myself. And we do push ourselves like that. But the big thing is like, have fun, but try not to disable yourself.
Yeah. How much prep goes into your bike before a race? Like what's some of the main things you got to do?
Big thing is obviously like maintenance, just like oil change, clean your fuel tank out, clean the carb, like just basic shit like that. But then it's like, oh, let me tires. Tires are a big thing in flat track.
Sure.
So it's like, hey, let me. They call it rasps. So like, you scrape your tires down so they get texture on it. So you're like, oh, cool. Gets more grip, more traction. Faster you go.
How many uses do you end up getting out of it though?
I'm still on my first set of tires.
Oh, okay. In 5 years?
5 years. Because I don't race a lot.
Okay.
Most guys that are like at least 2 sets of tires a year. With me, I'm like, I just don't race enough to do that. And shit, tires ain't cheap.
No. You got a sponsor?
Nope.
What's
hey, tire sponsor.
Well, what are you running? Give him a shout out.
Dunlop. I would love a
which
set
ones?
of Dunlops. DS3s.
Yeah, all right. Well, maybe there's someone.
I know they're here. They always come out and watch us do this stupid, reckless shit. But
how'd you do yesterday? Okay.
We're not going to talk about that.
So, you finished.
I didn't crash.
You didn't crash. Okay. What's kind of your favorite?
I'm drinking a Busch Light, so that should be a sign of how I did.
I didn't even know that there was still Busch Light. We found the Schlitz fucking brewery,
Yes.
and we went there to the old dinner club.
Nice,
That was nice.
dude. PBR. I'm a PBR fan.
Okay. Yeah. Again,
But sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yeah. Rave, if you guys could get a PBR, that'd be great because you don't have PBR.
And it's made like
It's
down the
made in
street, right?
Milwaukee.
Yeah. Just saying.
Like it's local.
What's now that you've got a few years under your belt, like, what's your favorite part of this? Like,
Honestly, the community, just the friendship. Like seriously, everybody I met, it's like instant friends. And it's like, there's no drama. I mean, like, obviously, everything in life, there's drama. But it's like, in the racing scene, but the flat track, and especially the hooligan class, it's like, there's no drama. They're like, hey, we're just here to have fun. And you can't beat that.
well, fuck yeah, man. Where can people find you to get more information about you and your racing and things like that?
You can find me on Instagram at Swiss Cheeks, SWISCHEEKS.
Swiss Cheeks?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a different story for another time.
Yeah,